welcome to Coffee and My Pen. My name is Kelly, and today I'm going to be planning the last week of December in my 2025 Makselife Digital Weekly Planner. So I'm doing something a little different this week. If you watched one of my previous videos, you might have seen that I created my own dashboard layout out of Makselife components, and I did that last week in my personal planner. I didn't make a video for that, but it looks like this, and I really like how this worked out and how it worked for me for the week. And so I'm going to do that again this week. I made a sticker out of my layout because I suspected I might want to use it again. So I'm just going to pop that in and we'll take a look at it. And then I'm going to pop in a sheet of Dot Grit paper on the other side. And what I want to do is just move both of these to the bottom layer so that I can write on top of them without them moving around. All right, so let's take a look at this. So I took a weekly overview from the Makselife weekly, or I'm sorry, daily inserts that you can buy on their website. And I took this long list column from, I think it was the Colorful Notebook. And then I just took the habit tracker from a regular horizontal weekly spread and put that all together to make myself a dashboard layout. And that worked very well for me last week. I don't know, my mind just works that way. So I'm going to do that again this week. So let's get started with just laying in my plans. I guess the first thing that I want to do is put my numbers in so I know what I'm doing here. So I have a text tool and to do it this way. Something about the dashboard layout just works really well for me. I can see my whole week and I can see all my to-dos that need to be done at the same time. And I just find that very helpful. It feels a tiny bit disrespectful to be chopping apart their layouts, but I guess it's really not that much different than what I would do with stickers and highlighters in a paper planner. So this is Christmas week. So what's going on this week? Not a whole lot on the personal calendar. So family Christmas dinner for me is going to be on 27th. So I've been trying to figure out the trick here using Scribble to capitalize these letters. And the trick is to pause for a second and then come back in and take out the space. So that works pretty well. So that's the main thing. But I am hosting Christmas dinner this year, so I actually do have quite a bit of preparation to do. Off. Whoops. It doesn't know the difference between a lowercase and uppercase W here. That's okay. Oh my goodness. There we go. So we'll put that here. And actually, I haven't decided on my color scheme yet, so we'll do that in a little bit. I'm just going to check my work calendar for any events there. Nothing worth noting in my personal calendar. So that sounds good. Um, so these 2 days, Thursday and Friday, will be cooking prep days. Okay, so we have that. Let me see what I did this previous week. I've added a bunch of pages doing Christmas menu planning. Um, let's see what I did. It just feels like a very empty week. Uh, there is ball games to be added because it is the championship weeks of my fantasy football league, and I want to make sure that I am keeping up with that. I think I made a sticker, yes, of my football for those days where there are games. There is a Christmas game this year, several Christmas games actually. Pop that in. We have reached the point where we have games on Saturdays and more on Sunday. Oops. Nice. Okay. Now, I do want to I made myself a habit tracker to keep up with my medication and supplements. And so I'm just going to abbreviate these because I don't think I want to share everything with the world. Um, let's see. Multivitamin and iron and calcium must be taken. Okay, and so I'm just going to select all of that and work on our line height a little bit. And I will right justify it here so that I can keep up with those things. Okay, so I think the next thing I will do is decide. I wasn't going to sticker this up too much this week, but it is Christmas. It is Christmas week. Do you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with some of the same stuff that I used last week. I liked it. I made myself this gingerbread washi strip. So we will use that again. Okay, get the right tool. There we go. That's pretty cute. And I made it out of this strip of red washi that I'd used earlier in the year for a rock concert themed week. I'm going to turn that into a bottom strip. And I'm going to use this again just to make a couple of little dividers. Let me zoom in. What I want to do is make a very thin strip here just to give it a little splash of color. Okay. All right, so I need to make a couple of labels here. So in my recent stickers, I see I used the green. Look at that. That's cute. I'll stick that over there for later. Um, I think I used these green labels. Pull out this guy. I'm sorry if you hear my dogs barking, but we have landscaping crews in the neighborhood and they're not really happy about it. Okay, so I'm going to use this green square as a label. Gonna move it to the back. And I think I'll make my text just a touch bigger. And then I'm going to add an arrow through the end of the week, and I will make it the same green color. And then here we have cooking prep. So shall I use the same? Let me use this one just to change it up a bit. And I'll just use that arrow again to note that I will be doing that for a couple of days. we'll go with maybe red for, whoops, I am just having a hard time this morning. I want to pull that over. Oh gosh, where has it gone? I may have just accidentally deleted that flag. So I will need to go back and get it after this is done. No, I don't want to use that. I'm just going to make a square and I will color it red myself. Send to the back. We will make our text white and just a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to move this football, crop it just a bit. All right. It seemed like it was harder than it should have been. Okay. So I like this Christmas tree. It does not match at all. So let's go grab a different Christmas tree. I was pretty sure that I had one in this sticker kit, the sticker book, but maybe I didn't, or maybe I deleted it. I don't know. We'll grab Santa instead. Put him down here. Little cutie. Okay. And then I'll put a couple of things in this list. I got some white text and grouped in with my washi by mistake. So let me delete that. Okay, so I'm going to put in a couple of stickers that I don't have here. You know what I'll do? I'll get them from the previous week because I liked those. In fact, I'm just going to take the whole of it. Okay. And get rid of this little reindeer because we're going to use Santa. And I'll just kind of show you how I had put these together. So these are all Moxie Life stickers from one of the earlier sticker books. I have taken the list here and I just added a text header. So cleaning day, this is all the stuff that I do on Fridays or Saturdays whenever I end up cleaning the house. And then I made myself a to buy list for last week, and I'm going to need to do that again for this week. And I still have a couple things I did not buy, so they're going to stay on the list. And I will add to that as needed. I have a coming up here. So hosting Christmas dinner in Little Rock, those things are not, they're happening this week. And so, okay. So we'll add that in, hosting New Year's lunch. I'm just going to move this over just a little bit. Do I want to use this little washi? I think he's cute. Um, Maybe I'll keep him here just in case I need a divider. If I want to divide my to-do list into sections, maybe we'll do that like so. Okay, so I'm not going to change my cleaning list up too much. Um, Most of this, even though cleaning the oven and stuff like that is not done every week because it's Christmas cooking, I am going to need to do it again. We will have a bunch of guests, so I'll need to kind of check some of this stuff. So I'm just going to leave it there. I like how this looks. Even though I used it last week, I loved it a lot. So we're going to use it again. And maybe I'll just pop in a couple of things to fill out the other side here. Maybe just this little spray right here. Put in a little something, something. Nothing crazy. So for my to-do list this week, Let me go see what didn't get done last week, because I think a lot of it's going to be done this weekend, today and tomorrow. Well, there are a couple of things that haven't been dealt with. I've been having trouble getting a Ticketmaster payment from a ticket that I sold, and so I need to call them again. Need to refill prescriptions, and I need to go to the pharmacy to pick those prescriptions up. I'm going to need to get groceries for sure, and I'm going to do all that Christmas stuff on a totally separate list instead of doing it here in my weekly. What else needs to happen? Don't know. I think I'm going to leave it at that because most of my week is going to be filled up with Christmas prep. So let me just adjust this a little bit. And as you can see from last week, the to-do list really fills out as the week goes on. Um, I did put, I'm gonna grab this again. This is cute. I put these three stickers together to make that, and it's cute, so I'm going to use it again this week. I did put dinners here last week, and I do need to figure out what dinners we're going to have that aren't Christmas dinners. But I guess I will figure that out when I do my grocery list later today. No, I do need to put that on there. Um, check pantry and freezer before I make my not crack check. I need to check what I already have before I make my grocery list. So I think that is going to wrap it up for this week. Let me know if you like seeing the end of the week spread and see how it kind of turns out, how it morphs from just a few things in here into how it fills out over the week. And if you like that kind of thing, I'll start including that in the next week's video. All right, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for planning with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.